This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now we're being recorded. So,
okay, good evening. Aslan, you're up.
Okay. Wayne's going to try to join if he can, but I'm just going to try to hit on kind of updates in general. I'll pause after each one and you can ask questions. But we are doing probably 8 different things to just keep you updated. So I will just get started. So as you know, we have enlisted the council, the bond council, as well as the municipal advisor to figure out the bond process and what that rate may be for the city to go after a bond. They will do all the work. They will shop it out to banks. They will come back with bids, and then the city can decide if that's a route you want to move forward. They do not get paid unless that we actually accept an offer from a bank. So really that whole process doesn't hurt the city at all. It just lets us know where we stand. Any questions on that? All right. At the same time, we're also looking at CURB, the Community Economic Revitalization Board. Would be around the same time frame, same process. In fact, if we had a city clerk treasurer right now, we could move that process much quicker, faster. We're just, without someone in that position, we're having trouble gathering some of the documents that both the bond council and the CURB people would need to help us determine our rates. But we are working on that, and it looks like the mayor has joined. So, Mayor, anything you want to say?
Nope, I'm only going to be able to join for the work session since I'm at work, but I just want to make sure I was here for this.
Okay, so that's my report on finding out what financing rate the city may be able to have and the processes involved, and it's just going to be probably going to take several more weeks. So any questions on that? All right, just an update. We do have some really promising tenants that we are in dialogue with. The process takes longer as we're trying to figure out the right way to come up with what terms to offer the tenants. We have enlisted the help of Kidder Matthews. Evan Parker sits on the EDC board, and he is helping us with that process, which is really helping us move forward. David and I are not commercial brokers, and so have been, just trying to learn a whole new profession. So that is helpful. We are meeting with Evan from Kidder Matthews, as well as Kaufman, who's designing our building, on Thursday afternoon. And we really feel like we should, by the end of the week or early next week, be able to have some initial terms to offer the tenants of what price per square foot and, some basic understanding of what would come with the basic rent versus tenant improvements, which will be a whole nother level of dialogue, where if we can say, you get a warm shell building, it's lit and insulated, and you get it for $11 a square foot, and then we negotiate whether we put in the money for the tenant improvements, like they want a walk-in cooler, they want extra bells and whistles here and there, they want extra plumbing or electrical or all the different things they may need. We determine whether they're going to go out and get a loan for that and do the work themselves and they just pay our base rate, or we would actually put in some of those tenant improvements using the loan, the financing with the bond, and then we would wrap that into the rental rate, and then they would pay that back at a higher monthly rate. So that is my update there. Any questions on that? Okay, moving right along. Just know we did go back to Kaufman and ask for a design. The design we showed you last time was a 10,000 square foot building with the tenants that we're looking at right now. We felt comfortable to redesign the building at 15,000 square feet. And so we feel like we can fill that larger building. And so we will be seeing those new drawings come Thursday, and we can share that with you all. We did meet with Rick Hughes, the city attorney, and the state auditor yesterday, just to kind of make sure that we know everything we're doing is legal, and that this is what cities can do. Rick had a series of questions he wanted us to ask the auditor. The auditor will take those questions back, and they can't tell us what not. Well, they can tell us what not to do, but they can't tell us what to do. So if they see any red flags in anything that we are proposing, they will let us know, like, hey, you need to take a better look at that or approach that differently. So just
But
know
we did get some positive feedback when it came to stuff, like Rick was asking generally, like, hey, can a city take out a limited general tax obligation bond and use it to finance a building that they would then lease out to private entities for economic development purposes? And the auditor was like, yeah, that's that's what you do with those. You buy city buildings, and what you do with them after that is up to the city. So that was a positive note.
Yeah, I think we got some questions answered. Some questions will get more answered, but overall, just know that your city attorney is looking out for you, and we're making sure that everything we're doing is getting reviewed. And then Rick is also just wants to make sure that if the city is going to take out actually finance money for the building, that the city is involved in any money decisions. So any decisions that involve any kind of exchange of funds. So like we would come to the city to approve final tenants, we would come to the city to approve final rates that we're offering those tenants, and you would all have an opportunity to review and have a say on that process. Anything else you can think of from the auditor, Wayne?
No, that sounds great. It was a good meeting.
Okay. Moving on. We still have the 1.5 million left from Commerce, the Department of Commerce, Washington State Department of Commerce. We are ready to submit all the paperwork to start that contracting process to release those funds. Part of what we need to show them is that we have the entire budget, like everything we intend to do, that we have funding for it. And so basically, we are taking the money from Commerce and adding to it the idea that the city is going to do some financing, and together that fills that covers the budget that we have proposed. And so in order to just release these funds, we had written up a letter that we're asking Wayne to sign as the mayor that basically just says the city is going to provide these additional funds. So I can show you that language right now.
Yeah, I think they should have a copy of it in their agenda packet.
So you already have that?
This is really the big one that I wanted you guys to see tonight. So this isn't binding the city to anything. This is basically, it's like a letter of intent that is saying, yes, we as a city intend to fill that funding gap. And I wasn't comfortable signing it without discussing it with you guys first. It doesn't, you as a city council have said, yeah, go ahead and retain the bond attorney and move forward and, put the pedal to the metal on this project and get the funding. And so, maybe I could have signed it, but I didn't want to get ahead of, get in front of the skis. And I wanted to make sure that you guys read that, and I wanted to get any feedback from you all. I don't know if a vote's necessary. If you guys start yelling at me right now after reading that letter, then we can put it on the agenda, in the meeting tonight and have some discussion and a vote on it. But it's not binding the city to anything. It's not obligating the city to, put out any money. It's just telling the Department of Commerce that we do intend to get that funding gap filled, and we see it as our responsibility. So with that, I am curious if there's anybody, any council members that have read that letter that would have any heartache on me just signing it, or if they'd like it, put to a vote, what their thoughts are. Mr. O'Callaghan?
Okay, I've got a lot of concerns on it, mainly because what I see coming down in the future, and it's not very rosy. We just had our an employment forecast that fell extremely short of what was promised by this time. We have Bank of America saying that we're about to hit hyperinflation. We have signs of inflation throughout the country right now. Gas prices have jumped almost by $1 in most places. We have food prices that are now starting to follow all of that. We've got a whole lot of bad economic stuff coming down the pike, and I just do not feel comfortable, especially when last time it was 1 million, now it's 1.7 plus, without the vote of the people to just give that kind of money. and because it's not mine, it's ours. It's everybody in this city's, and this city is small. We have 1,800 people, a little bit over that, of which we got what, maybe 750, 800 people that are actually taxpayers here. That's a lot of money to put on 800 people in this small jurisdiction. I have real bad. I'm feeling really bad about trying to go out and say we need almost $2 million to finish this thing. I don't know what everybody else is thinking, but without a vote of the people saying yes, go ahead and move forward, I have a real hard time saying yes to this.
So are you against the ag park? Is that what you're telling me?
No, you're putting words in my mouth.
No, that's why I'm
against
asking
going
you.
out-
I'm not.
I'm against going out for one point, just saying with just the five of us to say yes, let's go ahead and just obligate the entire city to $1.7 million. That doesn't mean I'm against it. That means that at this point in time, in what I see on the economic horizon, this is not a good time to do this. I mean, just think about it. A sheet of plywood that was going for about $22 is now 60, 70, 80 bucks. We're in some bad times right now, and I just have a really hard time to say, just the five of us, yeah, let's go ahead and obligate the city to $1.7 million.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Just to be clear, this doesn't affect
I think
anybody's
go-
taxes
Okay.
or anything
Hold
like
on.
that, right?
Let's go Jason first, and then we'll go Linda. Go ahead, Jason.
Just to be clear, like we were mentioned at the last meeting, this doesn't affect anybody's taxes, property taxes, or anything like that, right?
No, this does not raise any taxes. This is tied into the revenue that we would be receiving, which would,
Right. I just wanted
we've
to
already
throw that out there.
laid out that it is because we've already received $2 million. It subsidizes this project so much that we would be generating an ample amount of revenue to be able to pay down the bond debt. So good question, Linda.
well, this letter is not a commitment, like you said, and I believe that we should move forward with it.
Cutter, Rachel.
Yeah, so my only concern is with the tenants coming in and, I guess we'll just have to see the contract too, as far as like how long they're gonna pay, how long they're gonna be in there. Because, we are kind of counting on their rental to help us pay for the loan monthly, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be nice to kind of see that too, to kind of ease a little bit of discomfort, because we want to make sure that, we're not getting this big loan and the businesses who said they were coming in aren't coming in, and then we're stuck paying the loan with not, at the time, revenue coming in.
Absolutely. We have to make sure that that's taken into consideration. And once these contracts are signed and these businesses are on board with us, they have to there's a significant amount of investments that they will be making in our buildings themselves. And they will be on the hook for paying any tenant improvements. I mean, they don't just kind of pack up their couches and move in. These are big businesses that move entire operations down here, and they employ people. They would be hiring people. So, like when you're talking about, worrying about economic strife or, things like that down the pipeline, I feel like setting something like this up is exactly what we should be doing, because we are creating jobs for our community, and we are creating wealth for our community, so that we can weather hard times, and we will continue to flourish.
And that's a good point, Wayne. And nothing really has changed from 2 weeks ago when we talked about it to now. I mean, 2 weeks ago, hardwood, plywood, everything was still going up. So
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. I don't know what's discouraging right now for Mr.
And
Callahan.
the number 1.7. So our max ceiling is 2.5 that we could go for one of these bonds. The 1.75 is a number that we put in there, and it's not a we shall spend all that. It's based on doing a drawdown loan. So if you've ever built a house and you want to build a house, you go and you get a loan for, $200,000, and you pull money out of that pot as you as you build the foundation. Then you pull out $20,000. You do the framing, you pull out another $20,000, what have you. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to spend all of it. So we say 1.75 so that we have enough of what we need, but we may only spend 1.3 out of it. We may spend 1.5 out of it, and then the rest goes back to the bank. But what you don't want to do is get into a situation where, we say we're going to build a building for a 15,000 square foot building for 1.5, nice cat, Dan, for $1.5 million. And then we get into it and we really needed 1.6. So that 1.75, John, that you referenced, is to create a buffer, and it is to give us some ability to, it was initially a 10,000 square foot building, but due to demand and, us making sure we're getting the true vision in there, we've gone and we've said, hey, can we go to 15,000? So Cutter, did you have any comments?
Not really. I think it's a really exciting opportunity for Tenino, and the jobs is a good point. It helps out the community and provides opportunity for them. So
I wanted to ask Aslan,
Yeah.
the contracts that we have with these people, are they going to be over like 2-year contract, 1 year? Is it going to be month to month? How's that going to read?
So with the tenants, is that what we're talking about, Linda?
Yes.
So yeah, most of them we're looking at least a 10-year contract, especially if they're putting in a lot of equipment and improvements to the building. They want a longer commitment as well as so mostly we're looking at like 10 years with an additional 5 option. And then I'd love to respond to John and also specifically what Rachel said too. So
go ahead, please.
Linda? Okay, Linda's off.
Yes. Yeah, that answers my question. Thank you.
So John, just so you know, when we actually met with the bond attorneys, it is likely that we will, at the very least, we need the letters of commitments from the tenants, and really what they would like to see is some signed rent, like an actual rental agreement before we would shop that money. Like the banks are going to want to see that. So really, and then to Rachel, yes. So we have to be able to figure out a price point that we can offer these tenants that they'd be interested in that would cover whatever money we take out in a loan and then some, right? We want a cushion. So we want to make sure that we're bringing in monthly rental agreements that we have a solid agreement with before we even take out the loan, in order to make sure that we are going to generate revenue enough to pay back the loan monthly and more. And so that's the juggling we're trying to do up front right now before we even officially finally go to the tenants, although I'm having conversations with those tenants all along. We're trying to figure out those numbers. How much is it really going to cost to build the building? How much is it really going to cost to do the civil engineering, the site work? And then how much can we charge these tenants that they will bite on? And then how much does that give us a buffer to pay back the loan and extra? And all of that has to happen before the city would ever push go on taking out the loan. So we're basically, to the best of our ability, we are trying to guarantee that there will be revenue to cover the loan.
Perfect. Thank you. That was my exact question. Thank you so much.
And then to Linda's point, this specific contract that started the conversation tonight, I know, John, you are just looking out for the city, just like Rick is looking out for the city. And believe you me, we are paying attention to those construction costs. Yes, it is a bad time to be building right now as far as that goes. We are starting to see some articles that say that this is a bubble and at some point it will burst. And at the rate that we move on all these things, we're hoping that those 2 times match up. But yes, we are keeping an eye on the construction costs, and that is certainly a piece of the equation. That particular document, though, it really does not put the city on the hook for anything. The Commerce does not have the ability to enforce it and say, City of Tenino, you promised to spend this money on the ag park. Really, if it comes down to the city not feeling comfortable, but we already sent them that letter, it allowed the EDC to release those funds, and we could start the site development work, and the city could back out and Commerce could not in any way hold the city responsible. So, we could still get the site developed, like, we could get, the storm drainage put in, and, landscaping and parking and everything put in. That would then, when we figure out another way to raise funds for a building, it's all there. So again, what we're asking for with Wayne signing this letter, that, it maybe, maybe we would potentially mislead Commerce a little bit, but right now I think it's our intention to follow through, and we want to release those funds, and it takes a long time working with the Department of Commerce to release the funds. So we'd like to.
So this is a step that we need to take action on. I would like to sign the letter. I don't want to do it with if I was gonna make you guys feel like I was stepping on your toes or doing something without having vetted it. I do not feel that we need to take a vote. I do not feel that, because it's not binding the city to anything. It's not committing any funds. It's not spending any money. So I don't think that, like, technically we would need a vote. However, you guys have the option of doing whatever you want, and I'm gonna work with you on it. So if you get in, I'm not going to be in the business meeting. If you get into the business meeting and a council member wants to put this up to a vote, and so Mr. O'Callahan, I'm maybe you're the odd man out, and I don't want to make you feel like you're being put out. But so you get into the business meeting, the agenda item comes up, and Mr. O'Callahan says, I would like a motion to amend the agenda to include this thing. He can do that, and he's putting it on there up for discussion. If one of you give it a second, which you don't have to, if one of you give it a second, it puts it on the agenda, and that's fair to do. But also strategically, if you guys are like, no, we want to move forward with this, and we respect what John's saying, but we don't want to, you can do that. If it gets on the agenda, talk about it. You can decide. Again, we don't need a vote for you guys to say I can sign it. But if somebody wants to put it on the agenda, wants to bring it up for discussion, and you guys want to make it official and take a vote to authorize the mayor, well, you can do that. So those are all options. But doing nothing is an option. And if you do nothing, I will take it as a sign of kind of implied consent, because you're not kicking and screaming. So your options for moving forward are do nothing, do something and vote it forward, or you can all vote it down, and then Aslan and I will go back to the drawing board. But I don't know what the drawing board would be at that point. So I think those are your options this evening. But no decisions can be made in a work session. Any questions?
Nope, been through this before.
Oh yeah. Linda, do you have any questions about?
No, I
anything?
don't. I understand.
Okay. Aslan, do you have any further comments?
Not on that topic, but there's a couple other.
Okay, keep going. You got 5 minutes.
All right, so just know we are starting to talk with civil engineers. We've walked through the site. We are, that would be the process we have to start before. Obviously, we build the building. We have to do the site prep work. That is a long process, and so that's another reason why we'd like these funds available so we can start that process. And then the final piece tonight, the current zoning for the ag park is the same for all city-owned property, and the easiest way to be able to have the ag park included in that current zoning is to do what Dan Penrose calls a text amendment, which is we basically just add an amendment of some language to the current zoning that allows for this current usage. And so the new language is going to be going through the Planning Commission tomorrow night. The Planning Commission will likely have to have a special session, hopefully still within May, for public hearing. And then if that moves forward, it will come to the City Council for review and passage, likely sometime in June. And then after the City Council would go before the Department of Commerce, because they have an opportunity to review such a document. So is there any questions on that process? Your Planning Commission will be doing their homework. They'll make a recommendation to the City Council. All right, that's all I have for you tonight.
Thank you, Aslan.
It is an exciting time. It is a hell of a lot of work. We are learning so many things, and there's so many moving parts, but it really has taken, we have launched to a new level where we could really have that building up with tenants.
So we have 5 minutes left, and we have our new city clerk treasurer with us. I'd like to introduce Miss Beck. Beck, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce Becca Anderson for a moment for our last 5 minutes. She will be joining us next week, starting as the city clerk treasurer. It's going to be like drinking from a fire hose. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. But with no further ado, go ahead, Becca.
You're going to make me talk too.
Yeah, just introduce yourself, and they might have some questions for you, and it's real simple.
I don't think there we are. Hello. Everybody's sleeping. Sorry, caught me right in the middle of dinner too. So I'm
sorry.
Becky Anderson. As you said, I'll be the new city clerk treasurer. I am excited to come on board, like you said, and all of you are well aware there's a lot going on. So excited to come on and hit the ground running.
Well, does anyone have any questions for Becca, including you, Aslan?
I'm glad you are on tonight. So you hear one of the things that is going to be waiting for you when you get here. So
Right.
It is a big project, and we will definitely be partnering on these. So
John, Linda, Jason, Cutter,
Welcome,
Rachel.
Becca.
Thank you.
Welcome, Becca.
Thank you.
I will probably meet you Friday when I come in to sign the vouchers.
Sounds good.
Nice to see you again,
She
Becca.
won't be there until Friday.
Next
Are you
week.
working at the city hall?
I will be, yes.
Starting when?
Tuesday the 18th.
Okay, I would like to come by and get a picture of you. I'm the newspaper
Never mind.
editor.
All right.
And have a little conversation and do a look who's here story.
Awesome.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Linda, I'm
We
going
have
to
3
sign
minutes.
off. The meeting's yours.
Okay,
All
thanks.
right, bye.
Yeah, does anybody need to take a little break? Go ahead.
thanks, everyone.
Hello, Linda.
I have to unmute for you to be able to hear me. I said, hi, Linda, how are you?
Hi. Whoop. I'm good. I'm good. How about you? Things progressing well over there?
Yep, slowly but surely. It's all the, I would say, minor irritations and setbacks of a remodel, but we're, overall moving forward. So that's good.
Right. Yep. $7:30, everybody. Jan? Hello?
I don't know if Jen's on anymore.
I'm on. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were at the game.
Multitasking.
Welcome to the May 11th, 2021 Tenino City Council meeting. Let the record show that all council members are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have an agenda that needs to be approved.
Move
Hello?
approval.
There we go. I'm sorry.
Do we get a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor?
I
Opposed?
wanted to add the discussion that we had, but I didn't have myself unmuted.
Well, so do we back up then?
I'm not sure that we actually can. It's my fault that we don't get it on there because I didn't have myself unmuted. That's kind of new territory for me.
Okay, so we're moving on then. I need approval of the minutes for the
So move.
April 27th, 2021.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the April 27th, 21 regular council meeting as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Need approval for the consent calendar consisting of April 28th, 2021 through May 11th, 2021. Payroll EFTs and checks 29859 in the amount of $27,113.66. Claims checks 29860 through 29893 and EFTs in the amount of $84,072.29 for a grand total of $111,185.95.
So move.
Do I hear? It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar as presented. Evidently, there are no
Can I butt in? There actually is
liquor or cannabis license.
There is a one special events permit that
There is.
It is here in the packet, but it didn't get added to the agenda part. But it's for the Race for Rowan run on June 19th. They're going to have a beer garden there.
Okay, so wonder if we need to wait until the May meeting to do that. I don't know. Does anybody else know?
When did this get submitted to us?
It looks like the 7th over the weekend, Friday.
Over the weekend? Okay, so we need to wait. We need to wait because this is one of those things that it was boom.
Okay.
Dropped on at the last minute. So the next meeting that we have, bring it up for action, please.
10-4.
Okay. There's no executive session. Oh. I didn't get the vote on the consent calendar. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. No executive session, no presentations. we've come to comment period 1. You have 3 minutes to make comment. We need you to state your name and address, please. Okay, no comments, no public hearing, no proclamation. Old business. We need to review and accept the CDBG agreement. Has everybody read that, looked at it, and know what it is? Hello?
Yeah, I have at least. So.
So has everybody read the agreement and know? I know John probably knows exactly what it is. And
Yes,
I've
I
read
read
through it.
too, Linda.
Yeah, it's just it's a continuation of what we've been doing all along. It's just the renewal agreement.
Yeah, I took it as us being silent that we read it and know what's going on.
Okay, so do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the CDBG Urban County Renewal Agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. New business, under pressure racing holding event.
Excuse me.
Pardon?
Before we move forward, I just want to let everybody know, if anybody is watching, that the last thing we just approved was basic housekeeping stuff. So it's not a big deal.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Okay, Under Pressure Racing is holding an event Saturday, June 12th from 2 to 6, wanting to close Sheridan Street North and part of Lincoln Avenue for a car show, anticipating 300 to 500 cars. They'll be using the grass lot that's off of Lincoln that belongs to the owner of the shop that's there. Recommended action, approve road closure for event.
When was this sent to us?
I don't have any idea.
He came in last week and
Let's
filled it
see.
out.
Last week? Okay. Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to, I got to get back to where I was. Moved and seconded to approve the closure of Sheridan Street North and part of Lincoln Avenue for the car show. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. We have a resolution authorizing the interlocal agreement between Thurston County and the city to continue participation in the Federal Community Development Block Grant Program.
Move approval.
Resolution 2. Do you want me to read it or not?
No. Well, you kind of
Thought I had to read part of it.
first paragraph, last line.
Okay, whereas the Thurston County was designated as CDBG Urban County by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, adopted by the City Council at a regular scheduled meeting at this 11th day of May 2021. All in favor?
Aye.
Or second? Did I get a second?
Second, I think.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize the interlocal agreement. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, that brings us to reports. Chamber of Commerce. You here, George?
I'm here, Linda.
Hi.
There you go. Yeah, so the Chamber of Commerce, they're going to have the lunch next week. It's going to be on Wednesday, and the location's moving. The Sandstone Cafe is closed right now for a remodel. We're going to have it at the Kodiak Room, and it's going to be catered by Don Juan's Restaurant. We are asking people to RSVP to me, and then I'll send you a menu of 3 items that you can choose from.
I'll be there, George.
Thank you, John. I'll
So
send you
will
what it is.
Okay, EDC.
Our board meeting's not until 2 weeks, so.
Okay. VCB. Fire District 12.
We meet Thursday. There's a couple of things that we'll be talking about. For example, the fire station going out towards Rainier, not Rainier, but Rochester. That building that we have there is so old. It's to the point where trying to do any fix-ups to it is basically throwing money away. So we're trying to figure out how to get that thing replaced or at least modernized. That's one of the things that we'll be talking about.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
Library. I know Linda's here.
I am, and you already kind of got the basic report, which is we are getting much closer on the remodel. We want to reopen as soon as we possibly can, but not going to commit to a date yet. As I mentioned earlier, we're kind of running into those routine frustrations and little time crunchers for any remodel experiences. But we are making great progress, and if people are looking in from the outside windows, they may be a little perplexed about what we're still doing, but there are, I assure you, we are still not quite ready to open. So as soon as we possibly can, we're going to be pouring open those doors. We are doing library takeout right now, and I may have mentioned in the last council meeting that I was at that when we do reopen, we will actually be letting people in the building again for short periods of time, and also computer use, limited computer use, so we can continue to social distance. But that will be very exciting for us, but even more exciting for people in the community. So we're moving along.
Thanks, Linda. Museum.
No news.
Well, I do know they're open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now from noon to 4 at the.
I think we reported that at our last meeting, but that's okay.
Tenino Community Service Center. Arch Commission.
We have 2 applications. We're waiting for 3 more people to apply before we can get the Arts Commission up and running.
Come on, people, we need some more. Civil Service Commission, no meeting. Facade Improvement Grant Review Committee, I am beating the streets trying to get people to put in for the $1,000. If none of them do by a certain period, I think it's August 31st, then it could go to one person. So anyway, I'm still visiting the businesses downtown trying to get it taken care of. So no, Finance Committee, we've had no meeting. Planning Commission meets tomorrow night. Public Safety Committee, we don't have one. Chief of Police, are you here, Christy? Sounds like she's not. Okay. And Troy, Director of Public Works. City Planner, Building Official, City Attorney, Clerk Treasurer, we heard from earlier. Mr. Mayor is not here. BDAT.
No report. Next meeting is the 26th.
Okay. CIP. Solid Waste Advisory Board.
Yeah, we had a really interesting meeting last time. We had a legislative update where the most interesting things was that passed that restaurant owners have to require their servers not to ask for or not to just provide single-use items like straws and plastic silverware. It has to be available upon a request. And then styrofoam coolers are illegal starting in July. And then they started the new Waste and Recovery Center Master Conceptual Plan, which is trying to separate public and commercial industries.
Yeah, thanks, Cutter. Where am I here? Steady.
Our next study meeting will be on Friday, the 21st next week, and 8 to 9:30, and it's going to be on Zoom again. We have Impact Washington giving us an update on how they're impacting small businesses in our rural communities.
Thank you.
So
George.
you're not meeting
this week.
You're not meeting anywhere public at all. then?
Not yet.
It's all on Zoom?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. TCOM 9/11. Tenino School Board.
No report, but their next meeting will be the Monday before our next council.
Okay. TRPC.
Yeah, I'm just full of interesting meetings. We had one on a trail survey results. And so what came from that was just an interesting kind of mix of like who does it, who responds to the surveys and all that. And then Buildable Lands made another presentation on trying to meet the Thurston sustainable goals. So
Thanks, Cutter. TPB.
Tomorrow morning.
Okay. We're now at public comments number 2. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to make a public comment, please do so now. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes. I don't hear anything. Announcements.
Just a public service announcement real quick. We had a discussion about the Ag Park. If anybody's interested, please take a look at the work session. It was recorded so you can hear what we were talking about. Thank you.
Good suggestion, John. Thank you. Well, guess what? It's time to adjourn.
Linda, you did awesome.
Good night.
Thank you, Linda. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Y'all have a good
Good
day.